TNTM the show presents Trades of the Week for September 5th, 2018. So I'm doing this because I actually forgot to do this for the Comicast 354. So here's just like an extra little side thing. Maybe I should do this from now on. You tell me if you like it separate or if you like it as part of the Comicast. But here it is. Now, I get trades from DC because I get the digitals. And the only time I ever get them in physical form is when they have a digital code so I can give them to you. So that's why I'm getting the trades now. It's cheaper than getting the issues. So anyways, I have these comics, so I'll have these comics to review. Now, if you want them, as I've said before, if you want these, if you want this, just tell me. Send me $10. Not just me, not me, but go to our website at www.tntmtheshow.com. There should be a PayPal icon on the left side, and if you click that, $10 for this. When it's actually $16.99, $22.99 if you're Canadian. I don't know why the Canucks get charged more, but whatever. But anyways, is that offensive to call the Canadian a Canuck? I don't know. Canucklehead. What about that? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so this, if you want it, $10 to the PayPal, I'll mail it out to you. That's it. Okay, we're good. Or get us to so many likes on Facebook, like 1,900, which we're close, or get us to 200 on subs on YouTube, and I'll do giveaway for comics. But it's not close to happening, so these are up for grabs for a good while. Anyways, I'm gonna review Batman Detective Comics, volume number 7, Batman Eternal. Even though it feels more of like a group, it's more of like a group book than it is anything. And so the writer is James Tynion IV. We have a lot of artists: Javier Fernandez, Eddie Barrows, Alvaro Martinez, Philip Birriones, Scott Eaton, Raul Fernandez, Iber Ferreira, Wayne Fauci, John Calise, Brad Anderson, Adriano Lucas, Alan Pasalacqua, Sal Cipriano is letterer. So those were colorists, and then the letterer was the last one. So yeah, this one is continuation of the other volume. I did the other volume not too long ago. That one's also still up for grabs if you want to send me $10 for it. I'll go grab it real quick. Boom, right there. So this is the follow-up to that right here, volume 7. This is volume 6, obviously. So yeah, this is the conclusion to all of this, and it's a really good conclusion. The thing is, it's been a while since I read that, not too long, but a couple weeks. And so I was like, hey, this really came together kind of quick, but it really didn't, because it's been forming over a long time. And so when you read it by issues, to you, it doesn't feel that long. It kind of feels drawn out, you know, but when you read it in trade, you're like, wow, that was quick, but it really isn't that quick. And it works really well because especially if you read all the volumes before, because as I said in my previous review for volume 6, you have to read the previous stuff to know what's going on in that one. And same thing, you have to read the volume 6 and then probably volume 5 as well to know what's going on in this. So, but this is really good. It looks really solid. It's really great rereading it. It was fantastic because I do reread it all the way through. And I think just the best part, though, is that they bring the Bat family together and they go, we're putting Batwoman on trial. She's not here because she's doing her own thing, but we're putting her on trial. And they're like, y'all can't put her on trial because she's been doing her own thing this whole time. The only reason you brought her in is because she's more lethal anyways, and you wanted to bring her like under your supervision. And that was it. And Tim is pretty brokenhearted by this because he's like, I thought we did this because you wanted me to set up a new team to protect and this new thing to set up. And he's like, wow, that's really messed up towards me. So that's when this other guy, Ulysses from previous, he confronts him and he's like, hey, man, we can work together and we can rebuild this thing, the Belfry 2.0, and make it even better. And it ends up being like this future tech with Brother Eye and like that's this AI that, you know, goes bad and stuff. And so it corrupts his mind. He actually gets over it and corrupts his mind, and he makes him into the new Batman, has this new Omax and stuff, which was also weird and stuff. But it turns out to be really good and really awesome. And so it's like, yeah, it turns out to be fantastic. A great conclusion, really intense. They bring Spoiler in, Cassandra Cain is part of it, and they reveal the truth. They were because that other guy was only revealing part of the truth of the future, that the possible future, the alternate timeline future of what happened, and so that's what it was about. And so then Spoiler broke in there and was like, hey, this is how it really went down. Bruce was actually in on it because in this other timeline, Batwoman kills Batman, but this is when he's an old man and stuff. And so like he's just like at the end of his rope sort of, and he's just kind of like, you know, hey, everybody's moved on and they're done better than I ever expected them to. And so like he's happy and he's like, you know, I'm dying anyways. I got cancer, so just end it. I'm gonna have, you know, horrible last 2 months. So yeah, it's really good. It's really intense, and you see him talk to Bruce. He's, you know, Tim talk to Bruce, and everybody goes their separate ways and stuff. Not everybody, but some people go their separate ways, and it's really cool. And then you see Barbara's going to work with Cassandra Cain and stuff, so that's cool. Tim and Spoiler, they go off to do their own thing, but they're going to go off and do their own superhero thing, I think. So that's really cool. They're like, well, we don't want to stick to the exact same pattern of what happened before. We want to do something different. So yeah, I liked it a lot. It's a really great conclusion, and it sets up pretty well for the, not like, it doesn't set up that much. So the next volume will be a great jumping on point. This one is not a good jumping on point. That's why I can't give it like this, like the strong buy that I want to, because it looks phenomenal. It's a great story, but it's only as a whole collection, like at least with the last 3 volumes, this one, 6, and I think 5 you have to get, maybe even the one before that. So that's why it's a buy and not a strong buy, but it looks phenomenal. It reads phenomenal if you have all the other ones. And then, like I said, as a collection, that's worth a strong buy. Moving on to Batman Preludes to the Wedding. And this one is $16.99 as well. Like I said, same thing stands for it. If you want it, $16, you know, send me $10, or not necessarily me, but to our PayPal. And you can have it, and I'll mail it out to you. Just put the info, and I'll mail it out to you. So yeah, this one is the one-shots pretty much that led up to the wedding, and it actually starts with Your Big Day, which is Tom King, who wrote that one, and it's him waiting at this guy's house for his invitation for the letter, for the mail. He's waiting for the mail for his invitation. And like, this guy's like, just kill me already. You know, I can't take it. And he's like, I have a daughter. And he's like, quit talking about your daughter. This Joker is so perfect. He's so crazy. I love it. How he's so unpredictable. It's fantastically well done and well written, and just the way it looks. Then it goes into a story where Damien is getting fitted for the wedding, his clothing. And then he gets pricked by the tailor. And then he starts having hallucinations of a, like the spawn of Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne. And so he's like a combination of Bat and Cat. So, and he's like, oh, you've been beaten, you've been taken down, you know, I'm the best of these two, and you were an accident, you know, and stuff, or like you were made in a test tube and all this stuff. And then, you know, he goes and talks to Selina. He's like, you're not gonna have kids, are you? And she's like, well, that's not really something for me to talk to you about. And he's like, well, are you or not? And she's like, no, we're probably not. You know, like, I'm a mess. He's a mess. Like, we shouldn't be bringing kids into this mess. So he's like, all right, good. Then you see Ra's al Ghul looking for Batman about this wedding. There's a bachelor party that Nightwing and Clark do for him, and it's planned really well. And then they're like, we're just going to go fishing in this pocket dimension. And then Hush shows up and ruins everything, and they actually get thrown into this other pocket dimension where it's all these people that don't have identities and try to steal your identities because they're seeking an identity. And so Hush reveals himself as like the new Dick Grayson, and so that was really awesome. And then, you know, they find a way to get Dick out. I mean, he works with Hush, but then like Hush gets snatched away at the last. Then the other one, most of these are written by Tim Seeley though. Just the first one was Tom King. Now this other one was Riddler, and he's doing all these riddles for Batgirl, but they're not like, I like it better when they're riddles that you can figure out yourself or try to figure out, but they're not, because like these are riddles that only Batgirl would know because they're all about Burnside. And I'm like, I don't live in Burnside. Never lived in Burnside. Burnside's made up, okay? I can't come up figure out these riddles because I'm not from Burnside, all right? It's a fake fictional place. Get it together, you know? So that wasn't as enjoyable, but it was cool, like seeing her, you know, figure out his riddles and save people and then beat him up and deal with him and stuff. And he's like, yeah, maybe we're not meant to be and stuff. And then Harley beats him up. I was like, I want to know what joke is. Tell me what joke is. And but anyways, there is another one too where Selena Kyle, she goes out with her bachelorette party, goes out with her friends, and he's like, hey, Red Hood, can you look out for her, make sure nothing happens? Well, he finds out that Anarchy is doing this thing the same night, and so he stops him. And so that's really cool. Selena wanted to get involved, but she wasn't able to. But that was cool because what he does is there's all these people he gives these masks to, and they're like, give these masks. I think he like gives them power, and then they wanted to like destroy the city or whatever, cause anarchy, right? And so, but he's like, if you do not, he's like, put on those masks, I will deposit money into each of every one of your accounts, because he actually made Bruce pay him $150,000. He's like, I'll pay you. And I don't know, I don't remember how much, if it was like $100 or $300, like, I will pay you to not do this. So he used up all the money that he got paid from Bruce Wayne to do that. And so that was pretty cool. I didn't care for the inclusion, though, of like his other Outlaws team, like Artemis, fine, whatever. Bizarro doesn't make sense to me. And then there's some more Joker stuff. And then you get the Harley versus Joker, and it's just Harley doing all these different death traps to to Joker, and like it's just them like being total freaking a-holes to each other, like just they're just hurting each other. And unfortunately he does find a way out of it because he is a maniacal man. And yeah, and so yep, but it was phenomenal. It was so great. It actually worked really well together. I liked reading it as a collection altogether. It was fantastic. This is one I can actually say it was enjoyable enough, and you could just read it on its own. You don't need any previous stuff, after stuff, whatever. It's just good, great one-shots compiled together. Strong by contender. Still Harley Quinn and versus Joker was my favorite one. Best one, favorite one, whatever. So you can check us out at TNTMTheShow. That's our website, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You know it. Go to it, like it, subscribe to it, follow us, whatever, you know, and get us those likes and those views so I can give all these freaking books are piling up. I have a freaking stack of like 5-6 books, graphic novels here to give away. And until you get us there, I'm not going to give them away. So yeah, so that's it for me. So talk nerdy to me and keep your old hoes hungry for comics.